60% of the coaches, consultants, and service providers that I've done LinkedIn audits with don't have clear goals on LinkedIn. And the things that they're showing up and doing on LinkedIn are not actually supporting their business goals. So, what are they doing? 60% of people on the platform are wasting their frickin' time. So, today I'm going to share with you on this live some suggestions about some tangible goals that you might want to set for LinkedIn to align with whatever your business goals are for the year ahead. Now, I know most of you, and having just recently done the LinkedIn Visibility Challenge, helping people get more clients without the ick. Everybody wants to get more clients. So you have to kind of do that in stages. And what I mean by this is, hang on, actually, yeah, sorry, I have a pin on myself. I want to take it off. So that I don't have to look at myself when I'm talking to you and I can pull out the overall results of the audit. Okay, moral of the story is 60% of people don't have set goals for LinkedIn, and 60% of people's current LinkedIn activities don't support their overall business goals. So what I want you to think about first off is when you think about a typical customer journey, you have somebody who's a complete and utter stranger to you. Then you have somebody who maybe is in your world, they're a follower, but they're not a client. And so what you've done is you have maybe started to engage them in some way. And then the third stage of a buyer journey is that you convert them. Now that conversion process can look different for every business owner. So most people say, right, Deirdre, I want to get more clients on LinkedIn, but they haven't actually done steps 1 and 2. And steps 1 and 2 are first off building awareness, because awareness is getting eyeballs on your posts and your content and on your profile. Ultimately, profile views is something that you should absolutely be considering measuring. If you're not, most people look at likes, impressions, and they look at follow numbers, but profile views are important too. So, for example, awareness and what awareness is, it means capturing the curiosity of somebody. It means awareness is impressions. Awareness is people becoming aware of who you are, what you do, how you make their lives better, and why they should care. If they're aware of those things, then ideally what will happen is they will follow you. Last week, when I went live, I shared with you about why it's important to, one of my posts from the previous week was about why it's important to continuously and consistently post on LinkedIn. And one of the reasons being is that if you step away from LinkedIn for even a month, your revenue mightn't see a whole lot of a shift or change, but actually after 2 months, it'll dip by 30%. 3 months, it'll have dipped by 60%, and so on, month on month. And so what you're doing with visibility and awareness is by putting yourself out there consistently in front of the right people. So by really being clear on your niche, by really being clear on what your offer is and talking about that in your content via case studies, testimonials, all that sort of stuff, by having a clear, unique value proposition, as in what makes you different and why people should choose you. And by being really clear on how you communicate all of that, your message around all of that. When you have that clarity, it makes showing up on the platform easier. And it makes it easier for people to know, oh, that's my person. Where have they been all of this time? I want more of that type of content that they share because they're my person. So awareness is about helping people make you their person. It's about you showing up in the right way. And this is exactly the first step that I take with my people who come into Business Accelerator, my group program. We work on your brand story. Then the next step we take is we work through your offer. And once we have that, then you get a step-by-step plan to implement activities that will get you visibility on LinkedIn. But it's not just any random plan. It's actually very strategic. It's laid out in these 3 phases to help guide people through a journey with you. So phase 1 being awareness, capturing people's attention and curiosity so they follow you. Phase 2 is engagement. Now, why engagement is important is, and people will say, Deirdre, on my LinkedIn, nobody ever engages with me. My audience don't engage. They're lurkers. Okay, great. Lurkers are my favorite kind of clients. If you're a lurker and you're following me, hey, I see you. I see you. Send me a DM. Say, hi, Deirdre. I'm one of your lurkers. Every time I do this, it surprises me how many people hop into my DMs and say hi. But I love lurkers because you're the type of people who are swallowing up everything that I'm spitting out. That's a horrible phrase, isn't it? You're soaking up all of the knowledge and information that I'm sharing. Probably sounds a little bit nicer. But in doing that, what's happening then is we're building trust. I'm showing up consistently. You're becoming familiar with me. Even if you don't engage on my content, you are there. You are one of my consistent impressions. You might be the type of person who's checking out my profile to see if I have an offer on. And you might be on the cusp of wondering, am I ready to buy from her? And so you're engaging, but maybe subtly in the background. Now, LinkedIn as a platform, I think actually people who know and understand how LinkedIn works, it doesn't set you up for success in terms of engagement always. And what I mean by this is people know that if they post or if they comment under your content, that all of their audience can see it too. And sometimes it might be oh, if I comment on that, what does it say about me? So if you're a coach who does mindset, as an example, somebody else who's who's your ideal client, they mightn't want to comment on your content because they're like, I don't want people to know that I need mindset help. It makes sense, right? And that's okay. But you still need to invite them to engage with you in other ways. And that can be in the DMs. It doesn't have to be right there under your content. But what engaging does is it starts to bring people a little bit through a customer journey with you. It helps them get to know, like, and love you. And engage type content is the kind of stuff where you share behind the scenes. It's where you share your ups and downs. You tell a little bit more of your story, as in what got you here, maybe some of the learnings you've had over your career or in your business. You can also engage by sharing case studies about clients as well and things that you do with your clients, right? So those are engaged type posts. Ideally, sorry, and I should have said this before, for the awareness type posts, your call to action might be follow me or ring my bell or save this post for later, that kind of thing. And engaged type posts could be, what are your thoughts on this? And getting really clear on that. So the metrics for engagement are the number of conversations you're having and the number of comments on your post. And this is where likes and loves and celebrate, support, insights, those emojis that you see on LinkedIn, that's where they come into play as well. But engagement, what's important to measure on engagement is not just the numbers, but on LinkedIn, you can go deeper. You can actually look and see my ideal clients are, let's say, for example, for me, they're founders or owners. That's very often what they call themselves. As a founder or owner, I want to see that the people who engaged on my content are in that demographic. I want to make sure that the engagement is aligned with that demographic. And that applies across awareness campaigns and engagement campaigns because you want to make sure that your content is resonating with the right people. And from an engagement perspective, that's where you're warming up the right people. Okay. And that engagement bit often gets so overlooked because people, and the awareness bit, to be fair, people go straight for part three, which is conversion. Conversion is really important. This is where people become clients. This is where you're asking for the business. You're like, hey, my doors are open. Come on in. Right now, I'm in conversion for Business Accelerator. The doors are open in my Business Accelerator program. And if you're interested, you can send me a DM. I would love to talk to you. Now, The way conversion works is ideally 80% of the time, you will spend 80% of your time in awareness and engagement mode, and only 20% of your time in conversion mode. Because if you're constantly selling, like constantly selling your programs, products, services, packages, offers, whatever it is that you have, if you're constantly selling, you will actually put people off. And what tends to happen, and people aren't aware of this, is that when you're in conversion mode, your engagement tends to drop. Fewer people will pay attention and will engage on your content because they feel like if they do, they're going to be sold to. Okay. And that's what happens. And we've seen this happen on social media time and time again. You send somebody a message and then all of a sudden they're in, it's like they're in for the kill. I don't do that, by the way. If you're genuinely interested, send me a message and I'll send you a link to have a chat and some information with that. And if you're not interested, that's 100% okay. I won't spam you or be a pain in your arse. Okay, so number 3 is conversion. Now, you might think, well, how can I make my cash flow survive if I'm not in conversion all of the time? Because I need clients, Deirdre. Okay, I totally get it. So what I would say to you is that with conversion as well, and another question that comes up is, should I be selling directly on the platform? Some people say you should, and other people say you shouldn't. I've got thoughts on this. You've got to figure out what works for your audience. When you sell on the platform, do they buy? If they don't buy, well then it doesn't work. Or maybe it's because your niche, your offer, your unique value proposition, and your message wasn't clear. Now, if any of those 4 things are off, well then you're going to find it really freaking hard to sell it anything anyway. So with the conversion, if you're not going to be selling on LinkedIn directly, whether it's through your posts, through DMs, or wherever, a third strategy for conversion is to invite people onto your email list. Now, this is something I really advocate for because of the top 3 formats of any type of content, the top 3 formats that convert at the highest rate is number 1, email marketing. Number 2, paid ads. And number 3, organic social media marketing. Now, I think I have those in the right order. Organic social media marketing is definitely third. And oh my God, my brain has just gone for a freeze. And I'm like, I was about to question myself with the first 2. It's either paid ads and then email, or email and paid ads. Either way, if you think about it, if your organic stuff, this is my personal belief, if your organic stuff is not converting and getting you clients, why would you put paid spend behind ads? I think it's total waste of money to spend money on ads if your organic content is not working. Okay. So email marketing, when you get people over onto your email, you have permission to sell as you see fit. You can do conversion campaigns as often as you like, but remember, no different to social media. If you're constantly selling, people will unsubscribe. And the other thing that's fantastic about converting people over onto your email rather than trying to sell them on social media is that you can nurture them over there as well. People open their emails. The percentage of people who'll see your content on LinkedIn versus email is probably 3 times higher. Like, for example, on average, only 10% of my followers see my content, but on email, over 40% of my audience, my subscribers on email, open my emails and read them. So that conversion is a lot higher in terms of people who read it. So you're getting eyeballs on people who've probably signed up for something you've given away, which means they are definitely your potential clients. They're not just some random followers in some random country who can never afford your services, right? So by showing up and converting them onto email, not only do you have all of those benefits, but also if your LinkedIn gets banned or blocked, you've lost the audience you've built up. You've lost all of the assets that you've created and shared on the platform for however many years. Whereas on email, it's yours. You're the one who has total autonomy and control. There are no algorithms over there blocking you or stopping you or saying, hold on, this is not content that should be shared. right? You are in complete and utter control of email. So email marketing is a fantastic strategy and plan to have for LinkedIn. Grow your email list via LinkedIn. So we've talked about awareness, engagement, conversion. Those are the three types of content. Again, to align with your goals for LinkedIn. So I want you right now to think about awareness. What does that look like for a goal for you? How many eyeballs do you want to get on your content first? I would suggest you spend at least 3 weeks or 4 weeks doing awareness type content before you move into engage or convert type content. And the reason being is because you're getting fresh eyeballs on your content who don't know you yet. And in doing that, every so often you can drive traffic back. So where you mightn't be constantly converting and selling on social media, you can be doing that in email via email campaigns. So it's a separate way off of the platform to drive conversions. So to answer that question, Deirdre, if I need clients all year round and not just at certain points of the year, how do I do it? You sell to them via email as opposed to directly on the platform. Does that make sense? I'd love to hear your thoughts. As I said, this is exactly the kind of thing that we get into in so much more detail inside a Business Accelerator with the exact how-tos, and I give people the templates that they need to go out and create content that absolutely converts. They get step by step by step frameworks that have worked for dozens of coaches, consultants, and service providers. So if that's you, send me a DM. I would love to chat to you about whether or not it's a good fit for you. Okay, that is it for today. I want to hear what your goals are. If you want a little bit of accountability, send me a DM, tell me what your goal is, and I will do a check-in with you every so often to see how you're getting on and that you are doing the things consistently, because ultimately with all of this, consistency creates familiarity. Familiarity builds trust, and trust leads to buyers. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to chat to you in the DMs about your goals or about Business Accelerator. You decide. And until next week, same time, same place. Have a great rest of your week. Bye for now.